Hey everybody, I just decided to redo my Cycle 1 Week 2 video because there were a few things that we wanted to change and there were a few things that we wanted to add regarding the Bible verses and God's truth in fine arts and science experiment where we could share those things. So I'm just going to go over really quickly what I'm doing for Cycle 1 Week 2 in Classical Conversations. For the 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, we're going to stick with what they do in the YouTube videos online. So we're going to go the 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, the Patriarchs of Israel, Hittites, Canaanites, Cush, Assyrians, Babylonians. How is it I'm forgetting this? The Babylonians made the law. And then China's Shang Dynasty. And you'll do that with the timeline song. For the history sentence, tell me about commandments 6 through 10. Thou shalt not kill. And we're just going to go like this. We're not going to make a gun or a trigger or anything. 7, do not commit adultery. We'll take our ring off and forsake it, or that sort of thing. 9, do not bear false witness. 10, do not covet. So we'll use all 10 fingers. With 3, we're going to do jumping jacks, and it'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and we're done. 33, 36. For 4, you'll do toe touches to This Old Man. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, and 48. Singing 4s is really great. So that will be math. With geography, we're going to cover, we'll first go over the continents, and I have a continent map, and we sing the continent song. It's North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia, Africa, Antarctica, these are the continents. After the continents, we'll go through the blob map, where the kids get a general idea of where the continents lie. And I would like to cover the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator this week, since I didn't last week. And I have 2 maps of Africa. I have a blank one, and I have one with the key points for this week. And if you look in your foundations guide on page 223, you'll see where these are marked. So we have, I can't see very well backwards, but we have the Babylon Empire, the Assyrian Empire in the same area. The Red Sea is right here, the Persian Gulf, the Caspian Sea, and the Black Sea. And so you can see that those empires were quite surrounded by water. So that was what this week's geography facts were. So I was going to do that, and it goes with the song. The song, it starts with the Fertile Crescent, and then it'll go all the way through and stop at Babylon. With the prepositions, we're going to follow the song that they have on YouTube, the lady and her son and daughter, where they're doing the dance. So we're going to do about, above, across, after, against. And that's all we have this week, is just the first 5. I'm also going to use in my class the preposition Pete and preposition Patty. So when they do about, there's a sign. Above, walking across, walking after, and then maybe leaning against. So you can, I would probably not give each of the kids these because that would take a lot of time. Encourage mom to print those off at home so that she can use them with the kids. With Latin, we're doing the same as last week. So that's nice that the kids have a second week to go over the noun cases. And there's a good song on CC Connected. And my girls, that has really helped them to learn their Latin. So that was really good. So I'm going to put this stuff aside. I've gone over it. The history timeline. With science, what are the 5 kingdoms of living things? And originally, I was going to bring this in with props. But we want to remember that during new grammar, we don't do any teaching. We really don't have enough time to do teaching and explanations. So what we're really just going to do is give the kids a way to hang on to this. So animalia, if we want to, we can make an animalia sign. Plante sounds like a plant. Let's all be a plant. And the kids can pretend to be a full plant. And then fungi, let's act like a fungi. Or they could be a fungus if they wanted to. And then protista. You can say protista like I'm drinking tea, or protista with your teeth, or monera, you can say monera, and really change the intonation of your voice so that the kids hang on to something. And we were talking about a story like maybe the animalia and the plante were together and they were just having fun. They were just being a fun guy. And then they had some protista together, and then their tummy started aching and they had monera. So you're kind of giving the kids a story. They have, there's a song, they have emotion, but really you're just trying to make little anchor points. And later on at home, Mom can talk about the animal and the plant and the bacteria and what that is and all that sort of thing. This isn't the time for you to be teaching. So that is what I'm going to be doing for that. And then, let me look real quick. The fine arts, I'm going to have these on the table where the kids make a geometric shape. So when we learn about mirror image, they'll be doing the opposite side of an image. And I'll be showing different things that are symmetrical, such as a star and a snowflake. I'm going to show them something that's not symmetrical, like a knife. If you cut it in half, it wouldn't be symmetrical on both sides. And I'm just going to talk to them about, I have to grab my paper here that I printed off. If it's in here, yes it is. So I have mirror image, the opposite side of an object. And it says at the bottom, break the object down to the 5 basic elements of shape. So you can point out things from last week that you see in the picture. The symmetry is being made up of exactly similar parts facing each other. So you can explain that of having symmetry. And most things in the animal kingdom have symmetry. Humans have the bilateral symmetry. Ants. You can talk about how we're symmetrical with our body. We typically have a leg on both sides, but oftentimes faces aren't symmetrical. Typically an eye will be smaller than another eye. But you can see symmetry in butterflies and shapes, and in God's design of the ladybugs, spots, they're usually symmetrical. We'll talk about things that are symmetric and things that are not symmetric. I'm going to give my kids 2 letters to cut in half, and they'll tell me which one is symmetric and which one isn't. And I'm going to laminate this and make it a puzzle that they put together to show something that's symmetric. I also made this on the back where the kids get to practice drawing the other half of an object and practicing mirror image. If they get frustrated, I have a baggie with everything that I used so that they can draw the mirror image if they're having a hard time. And then since we're studying the ancient empires, I did half of a vase, and they'll do the other mirror image side of the vase, and they're going to use circles and dots and angles and straight lines and all the 5 basic elements of shape from last week to decorate their vase with. So that will be what I'll use there. And then for our science experiment, fine art science experiment and presentations are really where we can take the time to teach a little bit more. New grammar, we want to be sure to just to model. So this week in presentations, I'm going to do that quickly. We're working on the skill of confidence. And I do talk about a good audience, closing our mouth, using our listening ears and sitting still so we don't distract. I talk about having poise, having a smile, having eye contact, having the right volume of voice that people can hear us. This week we are working on confidence, and my children in the ABCDarian group will be talking about their favorite vacation or their favorite place they have visited. And with the biblical truth that you can bring into that is trusting in the Lord, and not to fear men, because God has given us everything and equipped us with everything to share the good news, to share the message, and to share it confidently and boldly. We want to use eye contact because that shows that we care about people that we're speaking to. With the science experiment, we're going to be talking about the spider and how the spider is in its web, and it feels different vibrations when things land on its web, and it can tell whether if it's a light vibration to just ignore it, if it's a medium vibration it's probably lunch, if it's a hard vibration then it needs to take cover, and how God created in that spider, it was innately designed to know these things. No one taught it how to build a web. Nobody taught it how to hunt. It was just innately designed by a creator, because anything that is alive, anything that is living was created, and it is designed with a purpose, and when it fulfills that purpose, it's obeying its creator ultimately. So I talked about the Bible verse, Job 12:7. Ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds and of the air and they will tell you. Speak to the earth and it will teach you, or let the fish of the sea inform you. Which of these does not know the hand of the Lord? So we're actually talking about fish this week in Science Experiment 2. In Isaiah 43:20 it says, the wild animals honor me. I have a paper that I'm going to be bringing to my class about the telegraph lines, and this is it. All my kids are going to be filling this out with the scientific method, the purpose, hypothesis, materials, procedure, results, and conclusion. My kids will be drawing since they're a little younger. Also, when we talk about the fish, we're going to be talking about the bacteria that's inside of its stomach. And you can point out then that bacteria is the Monera bacteria that lives in the fish. And even something as small as bacteria, because it's alive, it was created by God. There was chaos. The earth was void and without form. And we know that God took everything and He put order into it. There's order in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, and even down to the smallest bacteria living in a fish's gut does its job to the design of its creator. And we can talk about that truth and share that with the kids of why a fish, once it dies, bacteria releases oxygen in its belly and it floats belly up, and just how there is a design and a purpose in all things, and we are equipped also with that same design and purpose to an even greater degree than spiders and fish. And that is what I'm using for Science Experiment. For my review games, I have a lot of different things. I have the numbers that the kids have to put in order. I have the north, south, east, west game. I have the rockets game that I know the kids really like. I have the scientific method cut up that the kids put in order. The Latin noun cases, the classifications of living things, and I have this muffin one where we have our subjects color-coded by the flashcards. So since history has orange flashcards, we write our history in orange on the whiteboard, and the kids in my class will throw a little golf ball at this muffin tin, and if it lands in orange, then I'll ask them, tell me about commandments 1 through 6, and they have to answer. So I think that is pretty neat. And I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I think that's everything that I'll be going over this week. But just remember that with new grammar, we don't want to teach, and the places where we do want to instill God's truth and talking about creation and order and purpose and reason and all that is a good time to talk about it in fine arts and science experiments and presentations. So I hope you all have a wonderful week doing Cycle 1, Week 2. I know I'm going to get started on Cycle 1, Week 3, probably starting in the morning. Thanks so much. Bye.